let's talk all about Paul Warne's press conference from after the game yesterday. He made a few comments about transfers and I think we should dive deeper into them. So he made the comment that a fringe player may be on the way out in order to make room to bring in someone new. Who could this fringe player be? There's a range of players who have been on the fringes of the squad, not really got the minutes in the first team that they deserve maybe, or that maybe they feel they should have. That includes the likes of Liam Thompson, Joe Ward, Tyrese Forner, all of those players, Sonny Bradley, Callum Elder, all probably haven't had the minutes that they maybe think they deserve. And given the fact that the players in midfield, we've struggled a lot there recently, so are they getting a bit antsy with Tyrese Forner and Liam Thompson? Obviously, they came on yesterday and did excellently. I'm going to take a bit of a deeper look into that and tell you basically what I think and who I think the player could be on the way out. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit that like button and touch that subscribe button. It is completely free to subscribe to the channel and we're aiming to get 110 by the 1st of February. We're only about 5 away and I think that we can absolutely smash it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get back to the video. So starting off, we have Joe Ward. Obviously, when Ryan Nyambe returns from the African Cup of Nations, which shouldn't be too long away now, they lost last night, which means they're out of the competition, so he should be on his way back. So for me, Joe Ward, there's obviously Nyambe and Wilson who are both really ahead of him at right back. He's not going to get in the team ahead of Mendes Lang on the right hand side further forward. He's not a left-sided player, so can't see that happening either. So he could be one of the fringe players on the way out. You've also then got the midfield. Obviously, I spoke about it in yesterday's video reviewing the game from yesterday, but we've struggled a lot in midfield. And you've got Liam Thompson, Tyrese Forner, Darren Robinson, all waiting in the wings. You've got Corey Smith returning to fitness, waiting in the wings to get their opportunities in midfield. Now, Liam Thompson has been back for 10 matches. I believe he's only played just over 200 minutes out of a possible 900. And for me, there's returning back to fitness and giving a player time and chance to build their fitness. But then there's just not giving someone an opportunity. For me, from what I've seen from Thompson so far since returning from injury, obviously he was never expected to come back in and start straight away. But he's also not been given the minutes that I think he deserves. And there's been games where I think we needed an extra body in midfield and he wasn't brought on or he wasn't involved. You go back to, I think it was the Wigan game where Paul Warne made a decision between Forner and Thompson, which, don't get me wrong, difficult decision to make, but it's one of those. Obviously, also in the midfield, you've got Tyrese Forner, who is missed, I think it's 4 squads over the entire season. And he's not really played a massive amount of minutes to sort of turn around and go, well, he's getting the same opportunities of other players. He's only just ahead of Liam Thompson in minutes played for the entire season. And Liam Thompson spent 4 months out injured after getting injured in training after the Peterborough game. So he's probably looking at that thinking, well, I'm not really getting an opportunity. Is it going to be Tyrese Forner? Is it going to be Liam Thompson who's looking on the way out? We saw last season Liam Thompson frustrated with the amount of minutes he was getting. Obviously, they then brought in Harvey White. Liam Thompson went on loan to Scunthorpe and suffered an injury, so didn't really get the playing time he needed at Scunthorpe. Next up, you've got Sonny Bradley. Now, I don't think there's any chance in this world that Sonny Bradley will be leaving the club. We've only got Nelson, Cashin and Bradley as our back 2 centre-halves sort of thing. 2-3 centre-halves, whatever we decide to play. Obviously, with Fozzie now out injured. Obviously, Nyambe can play on the right side of a 3, but if you're playing a 3, you still need a spare one on the bench sort of thing. So it's a bit difficult to call, but I don't think Sonny Bradley is going to be the player heading out of the club. You've obviously then got Callum Elder, who missed out yesterday due to injury, illness, whatever it was. He missed out on the squad yesterday after I thought he played really well at Reading. Now, obviously, he came in from Hull with an injury problem, I believe, or he got injured in his first pre-season game. Took a long time to get back in. Then he got injured again. he's not really played very well apart from the Reading game. So that's a difficult one to call. But obviously, he might be thinking, well, I've been available, but I've not played. Forsyth, obviously, aging legs. I don't think he missed a game from like the end of November till January, which is where he got injured. So it's obvious Callum Oldham might be looking at that thinking, well, he's going to have a really high match load. Why am I not getting in? And I can see the perspective. It's the same with Joe Ward, really. You look at Kane Wilson, he's played pretty much every game, and Joe will be thinking, well, why ain't I getting the opportunity? And then there's also another big one. There's Joe Wildsmith. Now, I personally do not think that this could be even an option of Joe Wildsmith leaving the club in January, unless it's for a big offer, essentially. Now, Joe Wildsmith has been the undisputed number one up until the Peterborough game, where he then got dropped for the Fleetwood game for Josh Vickers. People think injury related. Now, for me, if it's injury related, he wouldn't be sitting on the bench. You'd have Scott Loach or Jack Thompson or someone like that sitting on the bench. Someone with a bit more ability, not a bit more ability, a bit more fitness. If it's an injury, you don't want your keeper injured and then say Vickers got sent off 5 minutes in or something. Then you've got an injured player playing 85, 90 minutes of the game. So I don't think it's Joe Wildsmith, but obviously he could be disgruntled with being dropped recently. So that could be a possibility. But obviously, I don't think that we'd do that. I don't think that would be a smart decision on behalf of the club. So really an overview is, in my personal opinion, I think it's going to be Joe Ward. I think he came in obviously expecting to be probably the starting wing back for us. He had that big injury at, I think it was the end of August, where he ripped the fat pad off his heel, was out for 2 or 3 months, came back in. He had another little injury, and then he started 2 consecutive games and gave away penalties, was hooked at half time, and then hasn't really featured since yesterday when we were losing. I thought he would be one that they'd bring on and replace Kane Wilson, because I didn't feel like Wilson was that good yesterday. I felt like he struggled a bit in the game, but I think that's to do with where everybody else was on the pitch. But obviously Joe Ward didn't get the opportunity. So could he be looking at that thinking, even when we're searching for a goal and we need some attacking threat, I'm not being brought on Sonny Bradley ahead of him. Obviously, that was to go to a back three and change the system a bit. But could that be a bit of a kick in the teeth to Joe Ward? Obviously, Nyambe will be on his way back. So then you've got Wilson and Nyambe both ahead of him. And when Jake Rooney comes back, obviously I don't think that'll be this season, but he might be ahead of Joe Ward as well. Obviously, he was excellent earlier this season. So really, Joe Ward hasn't had the minutes he does. Like, even I think, and I know he's not been great for us so far, but I don't think he's really had the opportunity since recovering from injury to sort of stake a claim. He's not had a consistent run. Obviously, that's down to the penalties, but it's one of those, it's difficult, and I do think that if any of our first team players are going to be leaving, I think Joe Ward would be the one. Or if it's not Joe Ward, I think it would be Tyrese Forner, because a player that's only missed 4 or 5 matchday squads the entire season to then not get like a ton more minutes than Liam Thompson, who's been injured for 3 or 4 months. I think it speaks volumes, and he's obviously going to be wanting to progress his career. Same with Joe Ward. He's going to want to go forward in his career. He's not going to want to sit on a bench at Derby County when he's shown he's capable of performing at this level. So let me know down in the comments who you think the fringe player is, who could be on his way out. Let me know who you think is going to be coming in. I'll be making a review video after transfer deadline day, so that'll probably come out on Friday. So keep your eyes peeled for all the latest content on my channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button, and I'll catch you in my next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.